Mic check, mic check. Morning Masters Podcast, your host, main of course. First and foremost, of always, I want to thank, as always, I want to thank, I'm tired if you can't tell. I want to thank all my listeners, subscribers, followers, fan base. I don't like saying fan base, I like to say listeners. I want to thank everybody for supporting the podcast. The last episode did great. The one with my mom did great. Got a lot of feedback from it, so definitely shout out to y'all for always supporting the continuous support. I just love it. I'm not gonna lie, like it never gets old. It don't get common. It don't be as usual. It's like just knowing that week in, week out, day in, day out, there's a group of people who actually like what you got, what you're putting out, looking forward to what you're putting out, and want to know when the next thing you're putting out. So definitely shout out to y'all, man. I appreciate it, every last single one of you guys. So shout out to y'all, of course. Also shout out to anybody who tagged me on Facebook. Shout out to Carlton Clay. Shout out to everybody who texted me the next day. The news station, I'm not gonna lie, I think it was WJBF. I'm gonna say the news station. They actually put out a clip, a write up of some podcasts in the city. It was 7 podcasts. I was on that list, the podcast was on that list. We were on that list, all listeners. So shout out to y'all once again for getting me there. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the one. I'm not trying to down it at all, but I'm not the one that's like super crazy about lists like that. And it's not to down it, because I like any accomplishment, any feature I get, I love, and I cherish, and I think that it's super important. But my whole thing is like, I don't necessarily do it for that. I know what I do it for, and I just my main thing is always the message getting put across. Like, I do like that the news would definitely highlight that and take notice to what's being done. But the groundwork I put in, and knowing that the people that really need it, that needs to get this information, is getting it, is always gonna be more fulfilling than anything any list could ever do. You know what I'm saying? But yo, that's dope. That's a big deal to me. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I know I'm not sounding super ecstatic, but I don't get too up or too down by anything, because like, it's a lot of other things that go on, with stuff like that too. So shout out to them, so that's that, but speaking of social media and everybody tagging and stuff like that, one of the things that I wanted to talk about, and I was unsure. I had a few things I wanted to talk about, but I didn't want to mix it in. I don't want to go too long. I like how I've been doing it, just kind of, getting to the point and doing what I'm doing. But I had seen something online this week, and it didn't bother me. Like, it had nothing to do with me at all, but it got me to think about some things about how we approach social media, how we use social media, and the things in the relationship we're willing to lose just to appease this audience on social media, or to appease social media. And I thought it was odd, just to see. Sometimes you'll see people air, and it's not even dirty laundry. It's just stuff that I feel like it should be near and dear to that group, or them two people, or whoever's arguing or going back and forth. If I'm thinking about myself, like, it's just certain things that no matter what, I'm not airing out on social media. Like, if I think the thing is, some situations people want to win or lose. Like, it's certain situations where people think that they won or they're taking the L, right? And it's just a mind thing. Like, you could not have taken the L. It could be a mind thing, right? To me personally, I feel like if I gotta compromise a relationship that that was somebody I care about in order to win, I'm gonna take the L, just because I would hope that any intimate or any personal relationship I have with somebody is more important than airing out, whether it's dirty laundry or whether it's just things you shouldn't even be airing out. It's not that I'm not saying you can't go subliminally back and forth with nobody, because that's healthy, whatever, but to really be direct and just saying, hey, that I'm putting on a show for people that don't even know you or you don't know them, it's just wild to me. Like, it's wild. It's distasteful. It's corny on either end. Whether you started it or whether you responding to it, it's all corny to me. And I feel like a lot of times, and I posted that on social media. I can't remember what I said verbatim. Let me try to find it now. But I said, it's too much. We put too much into Let me not butcher it up. I'm not gonna lie, because how I worded it was dope. So let me get into it. I ain't posting it. I've been working my ass off. So I said too much care is put into setting the record straight for social media. That's what I said. Too much care is put into setting the record straight for social media. And what I mean by that is we'll work ourselves up. We'll wake up 7 in the morning to type up a long essay to set a record straight. A record that sometimes nobody's even watching. Or nobody. That record is subjective to you and you only. You know what I'm saying? Like this record, this falsified record, or whether it's true or not. And before I even get into the record, a lot of times, in my opinion, a lot of times people setting the record straight ain't even. Let me get it right. A lot of times, people setting the record straight ain't even setting the record straight. It's you setting your own narrative. And what I mean by that is not saying you're wrong or right, but it's your narrative, which means that ain't even setting the record straight. Because the truth is the truth. A narrative is a narrative. The truth is not a narrative. The truth is the truth. A narrative is a narrative. So a lot of times people setting the record straight is really just you creating your own narrative. And that's not setting the record straight. That's just you saying, hey, look, this is what I want y'all to view this as. So look at it this way. That ain't setting the record straight. But aside from all that, who gives who cares? You know what I'm saying? Who cares? Like, I'm not going to say the people, because they're going to do what they do with. But I mean, in general, like if it's me and I'm talking to somebody else, I'm not about to give you a whole detail about how I did this and did that and did that and did that and did this. And who gives a, like, who cares? Like, all right, that happened. Like, if we got a rapport, you know what I'm saying? If you my homie or you my man, you somebody who looked out for me, whatever, I don't want you blasting on social media. Don't if you got a blast on social media that you looked out for me, at any point that you feel like there's gonna be a reason for you to say, hey, I did this for him, don't do it for me. I can guarantee you I'll be okay. Whatever it is. I don't care if it's giving me mouth to mouth. Don't give it to me if you feel like you got to go blast and boast about what you did for me. Don't do it. If I'm supposed to live, I'll live. If I extreme in it. But you get my point. Don't let me die, please. But you get my point. Like, my point is, a lot of times we just go too far. Like, it's not that deep. And I think feelings be involved in it because of perception. So, like, somebody might say something that's triggering you, and you feel like, damn, these people gonna think this now because this person said this. How can I get one up? And I had to do that, you know. How can I get one up? And it's like, who cares? Like, you don't have to get one up. Like, everything's not a game. Everything's not a win or loss. For the most part, this is the thing, right, about social media, right? This is the thing. You got 2,000 friends. Let's just say that, right? The person or your opponent, somebody you going back and forth or whatever, your op, whatever, you know what I'm saying? They got 2,000 friends. So now in your mind, you know, y'all thinking, you know, add it up, let's say y'all got mutual, let's say about 1,500 people, you know, might be watching. Or trust me, them 1,500 people ain't watching, man. They not watching y'all. Like, it's about 7 people really entertaining this. I say 15 if it's really, really juicy. That's it. I'm not about to jeopardize no relationship at all. None. I mean, I got relationship with certain people that I'm cool with. I'm not jeopardizing none of it at all for 15 people who, if I drove on a road and I'm on a road, I'm sorry, if they driving and I'm on the side of the road, they just gonna look and say, oh, I'm Facebook friends with him. Like, why would I jeopardize any kind of relationship I have with somebody, or any close knit relationship I have with somebody where I know them personally, for somebody who ain't gonna stop me on the side of the road? When the person I'm probably ishing on or airing out or going back and forth or whatever we doing, it's probably the person I can call, whether we into it or not, and say, yeah, I'm on the side of the road. They might pick me up. But people are jeopardized that. Social media is rough, man. Social media is a rough game. And when I saw that, it made me think about all the times that I've seen it, or I've dealt with it personally, or seen it, whatever. And I was like, sometimes people will take that extra step because people want to hit you where it hurt. But I think for me, that's something different. I'm okay with that because that's an internal thing. But that audience thing it's just nasty. Like, trying to entertain the audience is nasty to me. Like, I ain't into it. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't into it. Like, whether it's family, whether it's distant family. Like, it's times that I want to make posts about certain things, and my family or my people, loved ones that I have, whether it's disdain for, whether I have emotion that I didn't let out, and I want to just write it out. I personally don't type those out on there, even though I feel like it'll let me release. But I ain't gonna do it because at the end of the day, you really don't know who watching. But that social media is not for everything. Like, every thought that comes to your mind, you ain't gotta post it on social media. I seen somebody post something today, and I thought it was wild. I can't remember what it was, so I ain't gonna repeat it. But it had me thinking, like, so why'd you post it? Like, and that's what I think sometimes. Like why'd you post it? Like, what made, like, now what? Now what? And that's how I look at some things. Like, when people go back and forth, and it seems to be more to the story, or it seems to be they got a tight relationship, and it's like, damn, y'all really willing to risk all this that y'all spoke about? Y'all pretty much got a rapport. Y'all closer than I thought y'all ever was. Like I said, I'm not watching it, but because y'all at it right now, out of the 15, I'm probably number 13 watching it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, is it worth it though? Like, at all y'all said, you said this person said that party said that party said that. But when you bring it to social media, that's when it's like, okay, well, damn, we can't even go back on what we said now. You could joke off, or you could laugh off a joke, or laugh off a comment, or, you know, when you start going direct and y'all start hitting below the belt and mentioning certain touchy subjects or certain touchy things that once you like, it's a line, you know what I'm saying? Once you cross that line, you can't come back. Some lines you can't cross over. Like, once you cross it over, that's it. You can't turn around and come back. And that's the thing about social media. People don't realize. You can delete a status, yes, but everybody done saw it. I done saw it. I done felt it. The emotions I can't delete. How I felt reading it, I can't delete. But because you wanted to put on a show, because we put in the show, or we airing out dirty laundry, we airing out our business, what's done is done. And that's corny to me. To me, that's corny. You know what I'm saying? But I want to touch on something different too, and I wasn't sure how to tackle this because it happened kind of today when I made me think about some things, and trying to anytime you're dealing with political things, and I say political, I don't mean like voting for mayor, voting for commissioner, voting for president. I personally think politics is in everything. It's in jobs, it's in schools, it's in jail, it's in the streets, it's out the streets, it's on boats, it's in the army, it's in the navy, it's in any military you could think of. I think anytime you got multiple, you got hierarchies, and you got multiple people in control, and you have middlemen, and you have leg workers, all that stuff, I think is always going to be politics in it. That's just me personally. I feel like people ask what politics is, and I can't give you a definitive thing. I wish I could do a podcast with somebody we can break it down and what politics really is, but politics is everywhere. It's not just the things you vote for. Trust me. And I've been blessed like financially lately, and then definitely like just where I work. I've been blessed to the company I work for to never have been in the bad side of politics yet. And I say yeah because it can happen to anybody, right? I've been blessed to not be on the bad side of politics. And if I ever have, I just wasn't aware of it. So I must have made it out. In some things, in some cases, I feel like, you know, I'm a big Drake fan, right? And he got this song called 30 for 30. And I always liked that song, always felt it. But that's how sometimes it feels when you look around, right? And you just falling back. You just taking everything in. And you look around at things that's going on, you're like, yo, things are really cutthroat. Like, things are really cutthroat. Like, I'm trying to use the right words. Things are really cutthroat. And you ask yourself whether, I say this, you know, when cops, and this is all freestyle, so I'm sorry if I'm rambling, my thoughts ain't there. Just forgive me. But, like, you know how they say ain't no such thing as a good cop, right? Because if a good cop sees a bad cop doing something that's unethical or doing something illegal, what's the chances that they'll say something about it? They'll step up and say something about it. Whether it's doing something to a civilian, a detainee, whatever, right, that they shouldn't do, what are the chances that that good cop is going to step up and say something? Aside from that, if that good cop does step up and say something, how does that good cop now get treated in that world afterwards? Who works for him? Where does he work? What's the energy around that particular person now, right? And that's politics too. Even in real life, like you got a person who called the shot on this and it killed 10,000 women and kids, and the people around him was like all saying yes. Everybody's, I guess technically speaking, bad. There's no good people there, but they could be good people, right? But are we gonna look at them as good people? Nah, because they're attached to that madness. And I say all that to say, like, even in working in retail, jail, gangs, whatever, it's all politics, it's all political there, right? And I've been thinking about like damn, no matter what you look at, it's politics involved, and you have to find a way to maneuver through these politics, and it's hard to maneuver through a lot of politics or some politics and keep yourself intact. And what I mean by that is like making sure I keep saying MVP, right? Morals, values, and principles. And it's like everybody got their own set of those things, right? And I think sometimes it's hard to maneuver through a lot of politics and keep those same morals, values, and principles intact for whatever reason. And it's not to say that you have to do something against your moral code or do something you wouldn't normally do that's outside of your range. But what happens if you see something then, or if you're seeing things that seem like that's what it is? Like at what point do you be like are you even if you're not in it, let's say you're not the one making the decisions, you're not the one pushing for certain things, right? But you're seeing it, you're witnessing it, you feeling it. When you don't, and not me personally, don't get me wrong. Let me say this first before I go even further. Like my morals, values, and principles are also very heavily connected with urban culture, which is how I grew up. So it's certain thing I just don't do. I don't believe in tattletelling on nobody. I don't believe in if I get caught if I get caught and I know it was wrong, I just don't believe in. I'm not gonna say nothing about the other person if they don't get caught. I've never done that in my life. If I got caught with something or we got caught doing something, hey, who the other two guys are with you? I don't know. But that's me. I'm not saying anybody else should do it. I'm just saying my moral values and principles are based off how I was raised and where I came up at, right? And I'm saying it to say like, so I'm thinking out loud. I'm thinking out loud right now. So it's like, not to say that I want to go or somebody should go call and say, hey, like, this is going on, it's wrong. No, that's not what I'm asking. Because I'm not. That's off the table. I'm not that type of person. So I can't be I can't be the person to go. I've never called on nobody, never told nobody, and work on real life. Never called the cops on nobody that did anything to me or anything like that. I've called the cops before. I'm not gonna say it loud. I've called the cops. It might have been a fire or something like that. Mom might have screamed out, "Hey, call the cops!" I called the cops and something like that. But I've never called the law on nobody and like that. Never got nobody arrested. Never got nobody put in jail, nothing like that. And I'm only premising that. I know I don't have to say that, but I'm premising it just so we can be clear. And so the same thing with at work. I've never told nobody. Never had an HR case or with nobody. Never told on nobody. Like I typically try to stay neutral in everything, right? Because I've always been a person that mind my business. I'm out the mix. But if I get caught up in something, then hey, if I directly get caught up, I'm cool. I'll take whatever comes to me. I never had a problem with taking punishment. I just rarely get caught with anything. But I say it to say, like if my moral code is like, I'm not a telltale. I just ain't. I ain't it. Like even in politics, and anybody that watching that's in politics, like what does that make another person that's like, okay, well, you see this going on, you see that going on, but you don't. You just in it. You know what I'm saying? Because I also feel like this, and I'm bouncing right now, but I also feel like this. It's all fun and games until you are on the bad side of politics at some point. What happens when you are on the bad side of politics? Then that when you put all your cards in and you just go to cautious nine and telling anybody, you know what I'm saying? Like, or is it karma? So you just take it, like, damn, for all the times I didn't say this and this happened, this is my karma. But for me, I feel like where I'm at in the space I'm in now, it's semi uncomfortable because I'm learning and growing in a certain position and of doing certain things, whatever I'm in, like I'm a $60 million store, whatever. Okay, cool. I'm learning and growing certain things on my own for the most part, but through trial and error with certain things too. And I feel like I'm doing great there, right? That's dope. This is what I do. I can do. I work my ass off to get where I'm at. Cool. But then there's the other side. It's like, okay, this also comes along with it, right? And yeah. I said something earlier and I'm thinking about it now, right? It's like, yeah, I'm taking care of my people. I'm paying my bills. I'm not wanting for nothing right now. But it's like the dark cloud of this other thing that comes with it. And it's like, do you really want to deal with that? Like, can you see yourself really dealing with that? If that's something you want to really, one, commit to, or how long do you think you can teeter around this big ass tornado before it suck you in? And that's kind of where my mind be going. You know what I'm saying? Like, how long can you how long can you outrun or outwalk or, stay from being sucked in that tornado? Because that's a crazy world. Like, the world of politics is crazy. And I feel like even though you feel like you're not in politics, you're always in politics because either you in it or you're not in it. But you close to it enough to be in it, so you kind of in it already. But you're just trying to save your moral code, so you're saying not in it, but you in it, even though you're not in it. I know that's a tongue twister, but that's the way my mind works, man. I'm sorry. And it's just the thought. It's the thoughts I have. So I've had, conversations with people that I look at as people that I know that can fix certain situations that I'm looking at right now. So I'm having them conversations, whatever. But for the most part, like I said, it's one of them things where I look at this like this. This is the best way to put it. And I end it here, right? I call it, I understand the song more now when they say more money, more problems. And I know I said this before in the pod, but I was talking about something different. Everything's a problem. Politics is a problem. Like, you got more money now, but now you work into the world of politics. You're going to see more. You're going to be involved in more. Your hands gonna get a little dirtier. You're gonna see some things you don't like. You're gonna have to approve some things you don't like. You're gonna have to. It's a lot that come with that political side of anything, and sometimes you can outlast it, sometimes you can't. And when you can't outlast it, that's when it starts to really affect you. When you feel like, damn, it's weight. It's like it's right behind me. Like, I can't keep running. I feel like it's trying to, But you want to keep yourself intact. Above anything, I want to keep myself intact. I never want money to be the reason why I'm an asshole. Like, I want to be an asshole because that's just who I am. I don't want to be an asshole because they paying me $6,000 a month. I'm just throwing numbers out. And don't think I got money. That's just what, I don't know. It's just a thought I'm having. It's just thoughts, man. But yeah, man. Politics is everything, man. Politics is everything. I know I kind of ramble, but that's my thinking out loud. Just thoughts I have, man. Social media, work, it's been rough, man. I ain't gonna lie, it's been rough. It's springtime, so at my field or what I do is super, super, super busy. A lot is new to me that I'm learning, but I'm catching it. I'm doing well, I feel like. So we'll see. Trying to do more pods. I do my thing aloud just to keep afloat, but I'm trying to get more guests on. It's really hard to schedule guests right now. If there's any person y'all want to see on the podcast, please comment below. Hit me up on Messenger, Instagram, Snapchat, email at morettmasters@gmail.com or morethanthemasters@icloud.com. Either one is fine. If it's a thing aloud topic you want me to discuss or go in on or just kind of give my thoughts on it, let me know ahead of time. I'll kind of ponder with it for a little while, and then I'll do one, and I'll shout you out for calling it out. Not saying your name or nothing like that, but I'll shout you out with a comment you might have had, or any kind of dialogue we had. If it's something in the podcast you'd like me to expound on, let me know, because I'll do that. I know I can ramble sometimes. I might have asked something and didn't get back to it. It happens. This is all freestyle. I've been up since 5 this morning. All right, I played basketball. Okay, don't know why I did that. I'm tired as hell. I won, so I did win. He was trash though. I won, but my ass hurts and my legs hurt right now. So definitely gotta probably take a bath or probably get a massage tomorrow. That's one of the pros and cons of making a little something. You can get a massage tomorrow, but I've been getting massages, so I don't think I ain't gonna get into that, man. Another thing out loud, man. We out.